Ladies and gentlemen, big news for the city of Utica right now. And Mayor Rob Palmieri is standing by as we speak here. Big story, Mayor, as you've placed your budget in play now. And the OD putting the zeros. Big headline, zero.
It's a good thing for the city of Utica, and that's a lot of teamwork, hard work. And the city's obviously, all the facts remain what they are. We're moving in an upward position, and I kind of say we're moving up when we're Utica proud again.
There's an old 70s game, Moving On Up. Remember that? What was that?
I didn't get it from that, Bill. I think projections of everything we're doing from our economic development to our credit rating to our fund balance to just the way that people feel at this point.
Yeah.
They're proud again. So I got a little logo that we're going to come out with a campaign, eat up, drink up, clean up, Utica proud.
Oh, okay. I like that. And the other thing, that there is some good news, and this is somewhat unrelated but related. There is good news up at Marcy right now.
No question.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think all of our elected officials, from the county executive to our assemblymen and our state senator, have done an outstanding job, along with the governor, to making sure that the city and the greater Utica area is going to get what we've been waiting for a number of years. Steve DeMille has done a great job. In life, everything's not utopia. You need to take a couple hits every once in a while. The commitment, though, is from the governor is here. I've had long conversations with Howard Zemsky. Not only is he going to make sure that Nano is forefront, but the harbor, downtown, the whole geographic area. So, I think for the first time in a long time, Utica is not going to be a pass-through from Syracuse to Albany. It's going to be a destination for people that want to come here because there's a lot of great activities here, and the quality of life is superior to anyone else.
So I want to ask you about, so you have a surplus. Talk about the surplus. You have a fund balance that's higher than it's been in several years. And let's talk about that. And then what is the purpose of that, by the way? Can the Common Council come out and say, all right, we're going to spend it here, and we're going to spend it there? What should be done with that money?
Well, first and foremost, a fund balance is based on what you do on your estimate throughout the year of your budget. And each year, from the first year that we've been on, we've monitored our spending. And it's an estimate. And we've come in under budget every time with a surplus. That surplus goes to your fund balance. It's mandated by the people of this great city. They have a certain amount in there. It was 5% at one point, then reduced to 3%. We're surpassing it at this point. If you look at several years ago in 2012, we were considered a financially stressed area by the state comptroller. We are no longer that. So a fund balance is nothing more than you're running your household. You have to have reserves because you don't know what's in store. You don't know if there's some type of a major event during the winters that you go over budget, major events that are within the overtimes of DPW, police, or fire. And so you have to have that cushion. That's what the financial institutes are looking for, Standard & Poor's, Fitch, and Moody's. They look at that, and that's how they rate you, just your cash flow. So it's imperative. And what I did do is I gave that presentation yesterday, and hopefully you have it. I had Bonadillo basically construct and what a fund balance does. And I also have a sheet from the state comptroller which tells you what they look for, the dollar amount that's in there.
Is there I know in some maybe nonprofits and some public municipalities, and I might be wrong with this, but I know that in the charter it says you have a minimum. You're supposed to keep it at a certain percentage. Is there a maximum where you can't raise too much, or is there no cap to that?
No, there's no. To the best of my knowledge, there's no cap.
All right. That'd be a good problem to have.
It's impossible to ever get to that level. I mean, just look in 2008 to 2011 and 12, it went from roughly a $4.8 million fund balance to a negative $15,000 fund balance when I took over.
I want to bring up, and this is kind of fund balance is not a fun balance, FUN. It's basically
it's your reserves.
It's your reserves, rainy day fund.
Exactly. So, and it's not entitled to be used to say, let's go out now and let's bonding. one of the concerns that I have, and I'm going to be looking into this and sending and talking to the comptroller, is the fact that we need to know with our debt services, our short-term, because people feel that our bond indebtedness is down, which it is. However, your short-term, which is your lease purchases that we've been going out with our police vehicles, some of our ambulance, some of our DPW vehicles, that's a debt service that's also in there. And we've been doing more of that. And what I'm concerned about is that people lose sight of that, and they just feel, well, now that we have a fund balance, let's go out and bond. And we're going to end up, if that continues, we'll end up in the same position we were in 2012.
One of the things to make sure you have money on hand is a potential lawsuit, and this is a tricky one. I know it seems to me that there is tension between you and Fire Chief Brooks. I'm just looking from the outside looking in. Now there's this lawsuit, federal lawsuit against the city of Utica, which is connected to his son, who says he's been in some, I guess, sexual discrimination, and also religious discrimination.
Right.
Can you comment on that?
I can't, other than, Chief Brooks is the chief of the Bureau, and again, there's a certain amount of responsibility that he is applicable to. But from that point of view, I'm very confident with our corporation counsel, and it's in their hands, and I won't discuss it any further than that.
Okay, all right.
Mayor, just again, tremendous job financially for the city, building the reserves and the ratings.
And I know that you're thanking me, but let me enforce the fact that this is truly a team effort. I can't be happier with the coordination we have from the comptroller's office and the help they had, my department heads, everybody here. And at the end, the most important person to have the acknowledgement to is Pete Ferrarillo, who from day one in 2012 crafted this, was the architect of our financial recovery. So a lot of the accolades are, obviously I'm at the head of this, and if bad things happen, it falls on my shoulders, and I'm big to handle it. But I will tell you at this point, Pete Ferrarillo, he did a magnificent job, and the kudos go out to him.
Right. So earlier this week, the council voted to remarket that Whitesboro Street property behind the Aud.
Correct.
Of course, everyone knows, when this issue had come up, you had the folks who wanted to build the housing units over there,
right? And
then the Aud. Or there was a group of investors that wanted to do like a sports complex and kind of expand on what's there at the Aud. Since this has fallen through with the other developer, has the city had communication with the Aud? What's the plan for that property right now?
The plan, as you just alluded to at this point, is that Purcell is still, their application is there. They have the opportunity to move forward on it, but we are going to remarket it. It's on the website. We're up. If people want to come in here and talk about development of that particular area, we're open and receptive to it. There has to be a mission statement, there has to be financials, and it has to fit in into the
But have you, since,
plan.
Again, that group wanted to...
Basically, it's Ravish and Ravish's group.
Right. Yeah. So has the city had communication with them since then to say...
No one has... I've had somebody else reach out to me about that land, but it was not them.
Okay. So I guess the person that you're referring to is the Utica Coffee Roasting. Has that offer been considered?
No.
That's a different property.
Wrong site.
Different site.
They're at a totally different site.
Yeah, that's over by the old Saturday Globe.
5.5 acres, and this would be east to that site.
Yeah. Different location, but I based on what I've heard, that Rob Esch's group still has an interest in that location. Would you be open to that?
I'm open as I have been before. And let's go back. When they were interested the last time, we had that long period of time that we sat down with Purcell and Carl Anise from the Aud Authority. We did that. We tried to make sure that it could work out together. It could. It was able to do that. And then at the final minute, the Aud Authority said no, they didn't want no part of it. So, listen, I've got two individuals, two groups that are interested into an area.
Okay.
And what you try to do in sales is make sure that we have everybody, and if we could get them both in the same area, kudos for the city of Utica. And that's what we try to do. Now, if the Aud Authority comes back in front of us, I'd be more than happy to sit down and see what their plan is, the time frame, and so forth.
All right.
In the meantime, if that doesn't happen, and Nano does come through, then Purcell will come back in and move forward.
Okay, and finally, I want to ask, we had the Trump supporters, local Trump supporters. They have a group, and it's headed by Jim Zecca and Tim Trent. And they were in with some others in on Monday, and it was really talk about immigration and refugees. And now it's putting a strain on Utica and Utica's school district, also in North Utica. One lady complaining that a temple, a Buddhist temple, has gone somewhere in her neighborhood. She's very upset about that. What do you say to all of this? And are refugees a problem for the city of Utica?
Well, A, it's not a problem. B, my grandparents were immigrants from Italy. The foundation of the city was because we were open, warm city with the Poles, the Germans, the Irish, the Italians that came in here, and everyone else. That was the foundation of how we've built. Now we're getting our second wave, and has been very fruitful to us. If you look at some parts of our city, if not for some of our refugees and immigrants coming in, it wouldn't be built up the way it is. Our population has grown over any other city at this point. So, listen, you could pick apart anything that you want and find a negative, and I guess that's not what we do. We look at the positives that has transpired and not the threats, the opportunities. So I would say that the city of Utica has been globally recognized throughout of being a warm, receptive company in a city. That's why you had, when AMS was looking at us, and when you have these global companies looking at you, do you think they want to go into area where they don't feel welcomed?
Right.
That is a selling point of this great city.
So you feel that
I don't
coming
feel
out,
it. I know it.
you know it. All right. Well, I'll leave it at that then. Mayor Rob Palmieri, again, as Manasseh said, congratulations on this budget. This is, and the credit rating. I think that's even more important.
Credit rating. Three notches
It's,
from...
again, it's all three components.
Yep.
You're moving forward.
Right.
If you look at the economic development of our city, roughly $8 million of assessment this year, which is the highest we've had in over a decade. The fact that we went from a triple notch with Fitch and for the first time in 30 years to an A with Standard & Poor's, again, we have a great team. People are passionate about the city. Accolades go out for every department, from DPW to fire to police to inside City Hall. We are a family. We're moving forward, and we're moving up.
All right, Mayor Rob Palmieri, appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right.